Okay, bear with, because I need to find my... Okay, there we are. Put me in the right place. I hit the wrong thing there. Right, cool. I think that's sorted. Right, we should be fine. Right, I spent the morning building the Deathwatch kill team from the new Deathwatch, from the new kill team 2 more box, and my brain is fried, and I'm going to start painting them. Let's see how much we can get done. This could be a terrible idea. I have just gone out and sprayed them. Now, I've sprayed them with Gracie, which seems like a terrible idea, but it probably was a terrible idea. I'm not going to use any decent brushes, and what I'm going to do is, this might sound bonkers, but I'm literally going to start painting them with Black Templar contrast paint. I'm not even going to be massively neat about it either, because it's been a while. It's been a hot minute since I painted any black armor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slap Black Templar contrast over the whole thing. It's going to look shocking, but I like my armor to be blue-black, so I prefer my edge highlights to be the Fenrisian grey, sort of rust grey sort of highlights. So the idea is to just get this all on here. We'll dry brush it. We'll dry brush all the armor with Fenrisian grey, rust grey, whatever the darker and lighter versions are, and then reapply thin coats of... I've got some Black Templar mix from when I last did black. We'll reapply some thin coats of Black Templar over the top. So fingers crossed it works. Worst case scenario, we've got some paint stripping to do. Now, I don't usually ever use contrast paints when doing marine armor. But this worked for my Black Templars, and it worked for my old Deathwatch that I painted. Yes, I'm using a cheap, chunky brush from the range because I'm fed up with my contrast paints and shades and stuff destroying my brushes quicker. Yeah, it doesn't actually matter if I get this on his cowl, because that's going to be painted a dark grey anyway. I'll try not to get on his face though. I don't really want to have to repaint anything on his actual face itself. So normally, if I was painting contrast paints, I'd be like, right, just go downwards, motion, don't go back over the top of it, it'll be all streaky and all that sort of stuff. Don't actually have to worry too much about that because we're going to be dry brushing this all up with the blues. I'm not sure on what colour we're going to do that blade yet, so I'm going to just stick to the hilt for black for a moment. Also, painting these guys with greys here meant that my camera absolutely hates looking at these because it just thinks they're really bright even though they're not. Shoulder pad, I'm going to do the shoulder pad as well, even though it's probably not going to be black at all. First mistake, I've just painted the red bit black. Oh, I don't know why I did it this way originally. So I'm only doing this because this is the way I used to do it. But now that I look at it, I'm like, why didn't I just spray them black? What possible reason do I have for not doing it that way around? So yeah, probably really should have sprayed them black to begin with. So yeah, I'll 100% say just paint it black. I just cost myself work, time and effort. But it has always been done this way. That is why we do it. We don't know why. We don't ask why. We've just always done it that way. Fucking stupid. I can't believe I've just done that. Literally no sense at all as to why I've spread these sprays here. Definitely would have been quicker to have painted them black and then just picked out all the light colours. But whatever. Whatevs. Let's just quickly get them all done. And move on to fixing this. So I guess the only benefit really here is, nope, no, there isn't a benefit. I was going to say I can just not paint anything that I want to not be black, leave it, but I've just literally painted one of the straps. So I'm still going to have to go back in and fix that at some stage. So no, there's no time saving in what I've done here in the size bit. I'll see how much I can get done today as like just even for base coats. All the videos are going to get squished together and sped up and used for YouTube anyway. This guy doesn't actually have his face exposed, so I could have just gone ham on this and just literally gone bloop, slapped it everywhere. It is a very cool set though. I'm liking the mix of Gravis and Phobos armor. You know what? It's going to take me longer to go to stop, like to try not to touch these things, than it is just going to be to paint them white anyway. So I'll go back and we'll paint all the levers and stuff anyway. Fuck trying to miss them while I'm doing this. I'm trying to do it quickly. I'll just go for very loaded brushes, get it all on there, and we'll move it around afterwards. I think that's the quicker way of doing it. I think if we load the brush up enough as well, we won't get any of those like little random mist spots that you get with contrast. Sometimes when you're doing bulk, like just trying to paint in block areas, big areas. So yeah, fuck it. Heads we'll try and miss. I'll try and miss heads. That'll be the right thing to do. But as far as everything else, I'm just gonna whack it on. And the thing is we're going to be dry brushing with blues and stuff in a bit, and there's no way of me not touching that stuff. So what's the point? Ah, look, I've just got on his face. I literally just said that was the one thing I was going to try not to do. In fact, while that's still wet, I am going to try and fix it. Let's just get this. Just try and take that off as much as possible. Don't mind it being on there a little bit. Yeah, that's better. I'll just try and brush that off the blade there as well. We'll try and keep that blade white for a minute, just in case I decide to just do a very quick blue glow or whatever on there. So this is the perfect example of the difference between, when people say like, oh, Black Templar and Black Legion. A Black Legion is just black. It's just flat black. This Black Templar, a lot of people say it's bluey black. I don't think it's got the blue in it. I don't see the blue. I see the greeny black. Maybe it is a bluey. Hard to tell. But yeah, Black Templar works like a proper contrast paint. So it does go into the recesses and then leaves the upper areas lighter. But if you do it like this, it's super splodgy and very streaky. I'm not caring about that right now though. We're just going for the recesses as black as possible, because I'm gonna hit all the black in a bit with a blue dry brush. And then when that's done, I'm going to go back in and then do a lighter dry brush of Fenrisian Grey or Rust Grey, whichever one the lighter is. And then once that's done, it'll get an all-over wash, or an all-over essentially glaze of Black Templar, but a very thinned one. So yes, this is definitely at the boring stage of the painting bit, where it's just a case of block filling. boring, but possibly one of the quicker stages. Oh my god, how have I managed to completely not do any of the top of that? Yeah, you finished. Just make sure you double check that you've actually done the top of the model. Okay, we've got now Reaver. Let's see how quickly we can get this done. So we started building at 10 o'clock this morning, pretty much when pre-orders went live. That's when we went live originally. GW store, I think we were keeping an eye on it. GW store went out of stock around about 11:30ish. And yeah, it's a little under probably 3 hours it took us to build them. That's with serving people and talking to people in the shop, so wasn't too bad. Scratch built a third Gravis guy as well, so really happy managed to do that. That's a bit of stress gone. That's a Scratch built kit bashed. The easiest kit bash ever. So yeah, we've got 11 operatives. It's really cool. And what time is it now? 2:30. So I reckon we should be able to get a good chunk of the armour done before close of play today. I reckon all dry brushing should be done, or most of the dry brushing should be done, and I reckon we should be at least applying the first kind of glaze coat to the black. That's assuming that it's actually dried. Have we got here plasma? Yeah, that's actually really cool. Big fan of this model. Even bigger fan right now because he's got a helmet on and I don't have to worry about not hitting his face. Okay, so what I should have been doing when I was putting this on is going for the big poly bits and taking them away because they're going to take longer to dry and I don't even need them to be there. I actually just doing this coat to fill in the recesses with that black contrast. Obviously none of that's going to get touched when we go back in and dry brush with the lighter colours. And we've got that lovely joy later of glazing up, which great fun. So kind of glad that the majority of the commission work that I had to do is finished. Because I'm probably going to spend a day or so having to glaze all of the armour back up at some point. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. As I say, been quite some time since I actually painted anything like this. So let's just pop that plasma gun off there. Crack on. Right, now this guy was going to be my salamander, so I think we can get away with a darker tone on the face, because they are literally like actually black. So pretty sure we're going to go salamanders on that one. Now I don't know if I've got any salamanders transfers for shoulder pads, so I'll have to have a look. Because annoyingly, the box, even though it's a brand new box, didn't come with all of the main Legion's shoulder pads. And I didn't really want to do a mix of embossed and not embossed shoulder pads, so I've opted for no embossed shoulder pads except for on the Reavers, and the reason I've taken the embossed shoulder pads on the Reavers is because that is cool as fuck. Because we have not had tiny embossed shoulder pads before that I can remember. Oh, I'm flagging already. This is what happens when you literally do non-stop hobby with no break. So we've gone from sprue to base paints basically in what, 10, 11, 12, 1, 4 hours, 5 hours? So that's building the actual thingy, kit bashing the 11th member, spraying, and currently slapping Black Templar contrast paint on. And that worked. Right. Normally on a Saturday I wouldn't have got away with this, but it's absolutely pissing down outside. And with the weather being so nice for so long, I'm pretty sure everybody's forgotten what a raincoat is, or an umbrella. Oh dear God. Way too many nooks and crannies on this. So I think we are streaming across TikTok and YouTube currently. What time are we on here? Oh, we even got a timer on here. 2:16. So probably when I hit the 1 hour mark on TikTok, I will go primarily just over to YouTube because I'm currently sharing my screen with the two apps and I'd rather just go on the one. So sorry TikTok people. Admittedly, if the TikTok desktop app actually worked. Hi, bud. That is like, I shouldn't even be painting these, but
Well, you don't put it on any social media to find on it?
oh no, it's out for pre-order today. Oh. I'm currently live streaming right now.
Oh.
It doesn't matter that it's that they're getting painted. It's the it's just the fact that I've got loads of commission work and other things that have to be finished. But I'm thinking if I smash through this, then technically I'm fine.
Yeah. Because I think the venue is going to try and do like a kill team kind of day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Darkstar does a bunch of kill team stuff.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's you can't go into the venue and what's it called? Learn how to play it.
Oh, so you actually have to just know how to play it. Which is quite funny because it's actually quite it's obviously a completely different rule set to 40k, so you really do need to learn it.
Okay.
I guess they'd have to have someone there to actually teach you though.
Yeah. Well, if they know how to play, they teach how to play 40k. It's not. Is it that hard? I don't know. I've not played it.
It's not technically harder, it's completely different, so you do have to learn a completely different set of rules.
Yeah.
Maybe just the person who teaches or that's organising the kill team has no interest in teaching people.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Isn't that part of what they do is teach everyone how to play their games?
I don't think so. Depends who's running the thing, isn't it? If they're like a...
What, in Warhammer?
In the Warhammer shop. I thought you meant in the venue.
No,
no, they're not going to teach you how to play that. That's not core game. It's a specialist game. They've only got to teach you how to play 40k in Age of Sigmar. If you book in. No, you can't learn that in a GW store. Don't be crazy.
Same with Blood Bowl as well.
Nope, yep, you're not learning that in there either.
At least they got the game, so
Well, they don't even stock it, do they? They only stock what they have to. They only stock the core stuff. Or if there's anything left from like new releases, they'll have it there. But they don't have to stock that stuff in a GW shop. I guess it makes life a little bit easier for the staff as well, because they haven't got to learn every single game system.
Yeah, true.
No, I thought you meant the venue.
Oh, she's back into the rain.
Yeah.
Right. Enjoy your painting.
I won't. Too bad.
Yeah.
Okay, almost completely finished the pointless painting of the black. I'm pretty sure there's a reason. But it's probably not pointless. I mean, at the end of the day, this isn't actually just like flat black, is it? Once you, it's a contrast paint, so the recesses are staying black. So there is probably a reason why I did this back in the day. I'm sure there are reasons. So yes, once we hit that kind of hour sort of mark, I will be moving over to YouTube Live, just to keep things simpler. Admittedly, I'm only really on TikTok because I wanted to show my face because I haven't been on for ages. But I do find that dual streaming isn't as good as, say, just being on TikTok. If I was just on TikTok now, I'd be chatting to those people, but for some reason when it's a dual stream, it never seems to work. So primarily wanting this footage for speeding up purposes, especially if it works. As we will whack this out onto Facebook. Sorry, onto YouTube. Facebook? Oh, no way. I've never tried to do a Facebook Live actually, that could be interesting. Okay. So we've got just this chunky monkey and then two other gravises, so two other chunky monkeys to paint, and then we're on to dry brushing. That is assuming that first coat is dry. So this is going to be the first step, and I would say it's the quickest, messiest step, but actually reapplying a thinned down version of this is technically quicker. Hello.
Hi, pal.
Ah, I got to slap the scroll over because someone was in talking about Pokemon. Apologies. And I'm very sorry for, was it either Diablo? I missed your message then because I was chatting to a customer. I do feel the box is worth it. So I had to kind of, it's a bit of a weird one, assuming that you're still in here. But yeah, I think that it's worth it. I am I don't want the Tyranny Warriors. That's the problem. Is I like the kill team. I want the kill team. The terrain's cool, so that's fine. Dossier cards. I want all of that stuff. Um, so I completely and utterly just didn't even think about the fact that there were Necron Warriors in the box, like standard Necron Warriors. So when I saw the RRP was 155, I was like, that's cool. And then now that I've seen this Necron Warriors, I'm like, oh, okay. I was cool with 155 before before I realised there were Necron Warriors in the box. Does that make sense? And now I'm like, oh, if you didn't have them in there, I you could have dropped the price of the box by like they probably only dropped the box by the price of like a 10, I suppose, if they'd knocked them out. So I don't know. I've built enough Necron Warriors in the past, and I just can't be asked to do more of them. And obviously they are integral to playing the MPO sort of mission. So, but yeah, I'm probably answering a question, an old question to someone who's not even there anymore. But yeah, I do think it is worth it. I think it's going to be even more worth it if my suspicions of the kill teams being sold in fives are correct or not. That will be another decider. Um, because it does say on the back of the box 2 Deathwatch kill teams, which kind of suggests they're going to be sold as 5-man boxes. And the sprues are 100% laid out that way for you to do that. Because it is just 2 identical sprue sets. You do 10 dooders. That's no worries. I, I think, I mean, I'm used to talking to myself, so if I see a question, I'm going to answer it even if there's nobody there. But yeah. Would I buy it for 155? No. Would I buy it with discount from somewhere? Yes. I mean, we were doing it for like 126, 126, 124, I can't remember. So yeah, we were doing it 20% off, in which case then like yes, 100% would buy it for that sort of price. The way I look at it most of the time is that like the kill teams are going to be generally say 40 quid a pop RRP, and if you're into the cards, you're spending another almost 20 quid for each set of cards. Um, that's assuming that you want both kill teams. If you don't want both kill teams, then I mean you can always eBay off the other kill team with its cards, probably for about 40 quid. I think in this box, if you're planning on playing the actual Tomb World sort of game, it looks good. Okay, so I have kit bashed one of my gunners as well. So I've got 11. You only build 10 out of the box, but I've got 11 guys here. And I did not. Originally, I said I was going to kit bash the breacher, this guy, and I didn't. I chose to actually build him because I've realised that he actually seems really good. I think everyone's pretty much like said breacher's probably going to get taken a lot. Um, the fact that the veterans rule lets them shoot twice and it doesn't restrict them to making like one of those actions be a bolter like so many other shoot twices do in with the Marines and the Chaos Marines is pretty awesome as well. Yeah, it's a bit weird. Yeah, he is a separate sprue. I'm gonna guess that yeah, maybe he does get sold as a separate little HQ option. Hmm. that'll be, well, I guess actually saying that, that's probably them future-proofing for when it's a 40k box. So obviously Commandos and Novitiates have finally had their 40k boxes made now, so they might just be future-proofing themselves for when they don't, like for when that Necron force gets taken out, because they may choose to just never sell the weird little crawler sprue. They might just choose to never sell that separately. It might go web only, but then they could always box the Geomancer up in a retail package and then sell that separately. So maybe that's their thinking on that one. Who knows? But I will say for anyone who wants to get the Death Watch, that I would 100% look to find the Space Marines Heroes Blue Heavy Intercessor guy, because that's what I've used to kitbash my third Gravis guy, and his pose and everything is literally perfect. There's no converting needing. The only thing you will need to do is also try and source a extra Gravis shoulder pad. But yeah, I bought the Space Marine Heroes Marines originally, so, and when I got the Kill Team starter sets, meant I've ended up with 2 sets of them. So I've just grabbed the Heavy Intercessor body and head from that. Body, head, and legs. Yeah, everything but the weapons, because you do get 2 sets of arms, and the Horde Slayer and the Bombard both have the same arms, and you get 2 sets of those. So they fit literally perfectly on the standard Gravis guy. That's assuming you're not just going to use a heavy intercessors. I mean, I was looking at my actual heavy intercessors, the main box of heavy intercessors, and the posing on one of the heavy intercessors matches this. Like you could, by the look of it, easily use a standard heavy intercessor body, and the same with the other pose would make the bombard nice and easy as well. But I'm not willing to pull apart a 40 something quid heavy intercessor box to get one single body. It's a lot cheaper to just find this guy. Well, no, sorry, this guy. That guy there is the one from Kill Team. From the Space Marines. Hopefully that made sense. I was partially concentrating on talking, partially concentrating on painting, and I've just slapped that all over his face. I've also just realised that my mic's fallen down again, so God knows if I was even audible then. Right, so we've done a slappy paint job. I've thrown that all over there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take myself off of here. I think we're still on properly. I've just removed myself from TikTok, plopped myself over onto just YouTube. So, yeah, are these guys dry enough? Yeah, kind of not. But yeah, they kind of are. So I'm going to find the Space Wolfy style colours that I need to make this work. We'll see if it does work. See if my old painting technique works. That was a floorboard. That was me. Okay, I need to hunt through my paints a second. I'm aware there are no hands currently showing. I am still here. Right. Fenrisian Grey, Rust Grey, possibly Thunderhawk Blue. Let's go that way. Let's see what this does. Okay. Where are we? Right. So, here's the plan. I'm going to slap a bunch of dry brushing over the top of these. Then, I'm going to reapply super thin down wash, I think. Glaze, wash, whatever. We'll call it something. Over the top. So, here's my questions. Do I have... There we go. I do still have a wet pot of Thunderhawk Blue. Do I have a dry brush palette? No, but I do have a pack of post-its. So they'll do. Do I have a semi-decent dry brush? Oh my god, please don't tell me I haven't got any decent dry brushes here. This might be. It'll be for Kill Team. I don't really do 40k anymore. Next time that I'm likely to play 40k will be 11th edition, and we'll do that as a. We'll see how it goes. Too many game systems, not enough time, and to be honest, any time of games, anything where they have massive changes, really like suit like early in an edition, I just don't have time for that. And I think 10th edition had like many pages PDF update way too early on in its edition. So, but we play Old World, and we play Legions Imperialis and Heresy and Trench Crusade and Kill Team, so and Age of Sigmar. So knocking 40k off of out of our like play schedule was no real big one. Right, so here's the idea. We don't have to be super neat. Going in with this is Thunderhawk Blue. This is why it didn't actually matter in the end that I was missing the bloody whites, because that's all going to get covered anyway. It's not the cleanest of dry brushes. This will be fine. So there is method to this madness. I think, if I remember rightly, this does work. It's not the driest dry brush, but if I remember rightly, I never used to do it this way. I actually used to always do it straight to Russ and Fenrisian, and I chose to do it this way with something else. I can't remember what it was. I was like, oh, I'm going to go for like an overbrush of Thunderhawk. I don't remember why. I did one day, and it still worked, and I quite liked it, so I'm going to give it a go. Ugh, all those other people on YouTube with their lovely fancy painting ways. Here's me slapping paint on and seeing what sticks. Oh, he's still a bit wet. That's not helpful. Okay. Now, I'm going to mute my mic a sec because I need to do some hair drying. I will be right back. God, the hands. I pretty much burnt my fingers then. Right, I'm back. Apologies for that, but I had to speed things up a bit. I also use that mic mute thing for when customers walk in because I'm actually in work right now. So I will carry on. I just will, depending on who it is, mute my mic. If it's someone I don't know who's not happy to, who I don't know if they're happy or not to be on intranet, then I will mute it. So I don't even remember why I even did this Thunderhawk. What made me think about doing this Thunderhawk Blue sort of like overbrush originally? Must have been something. There must have been some reason. So this again is still quick and messy. There's nothing at all skilled in what I'm up to right now. We'll have to find a more tactical dry brush than this though. This one's a nice one for just slapping stuff on top. We're not even, it doesn't even matter what direction I'm going on with this. It's literally just, as long as we're not going into the recesses, it's fine. And we're not. I'm not doing it enough where I can do that. And let's say once we've dry brushed these with rust and Pemrosian grey, I'm going to end up putting over a glaze of very thin down black temper again anyway. So getting things into the recesses isn't actually all that bad. And the nice thing is that we haven't, apart from that initial rattle can of greys here, there's not actually really been any thick coats of paint applied to this. It's literally a dry brush. No, it's a contrast coat, so super thin contrast coat, and then super thin dry brush, and then all we're going to be doing is another dry brush and then glaze. So it's all just real thin coats of paint. And that like weird curse of contrast, which like basically means that you end up with like little white mist patches. Like they'll just disappear as well because of the amount of coats. And we shouldn't get any coffee stain sort of the weird like horrible blotchy patches that you get when you contrast over marine armor, flat panels and stuff like that, because when we dry brushing over all of the ones that have just been created, and then when we apply the glazed, the very thin black Templar, that stuff is thinned down, so we won't get any coffee staining from that. We shouldn't. We don't generally. Could happen, who knows. So if this goes well enough, I won't even really need to edge highlight it. I could probably just leave them. And I haven't decided yet if they're going to be nice and clean or if I'm going to enamel wash them, because if I enamel wash them, I'm probably not going to be doing any edge highlights on them then either. So yeah, at the moment they're looking a bit greeny blue. It's going to only get worse because I'm also going to be highlighting them with much more bluey colours. Oh, I'm so happy that I managed to get that extra Gravis guy made. And he looks pretty cool as well because obviously the only thing that looks out of place on him is technically his chest plate because it doesn't have the Death Watch insignia in the middle of it. It just has the Aquila, but I don't even think you even notice. And yes, I know I've got barrels to drill, but I'm actually okay with drilling them after. It's not a problem. The gunmetal, the actual barrel colours, the silvers for the guns will be done like last, so no drama. Okay, so Plasma Guy has a lot of those like little white patches, which like you know for a fact you have definitely painted, but for some reason the contrast paint just decides to disappear from. So he'll be a good example of why I don't need to go back in and sort that out, because they will be gone without me having to actually physically think about getting rid of them. So what are we on? So we sprayed them with Wraithbone. I've then slapped Black Templar contrast paint all over them, and now I've just done the most shittiest dry brush of Thunderhawk Blue. So they're looking pretty crap, but it's fine. Don't panic. Should be panicking more about the fact that I'm getting tangled up in cables here. Right, so I need a slightly nicer, better dry brush. Now, annoyingly, I cleaned them all the other day, and I didn't actually bother to put them anywhere to dry, so they've all been sat in water. So I'm going to have to just stubby one out into a kitchen towel a second. So I'll just take this opportunity to... Who's this messaging me? Okay. Okay, so I need this to be dry. I am just quickly drying it. Um, okay. I think this one will be dry enough. It's not trash. It's really annoying because I was using ELF brushes and I really liked them. I can't remember who it was that was using them originally. I think it was Darcy Bono or someone like that, and I really liked them, so I bought some. And then they just get trashed really quick, which isn't really massively surprising because they're not designed for this. But yeah, they absolutely smashed them. So I bought others, but they're not the same. Okay, so this is rust grey. So this is where things are going to look real weird because this starts to get super blue. And admittedly, I think this one might be a bit too wet for this, but we'll give it a go. So now we're going lighter with the dry brush, not going so hard. We will attempt to just catch the edges. It's not the biggest deal if it gets a bit too chunky because we are going to be going back in. But depending on how much work I want to do, I kind of do want to. I don't want it to be super blue. I think I'm probably have just gone a bit overboard there. Right. Yeah, so he's looking pretty blue at the moment. He's almost 30k Space Wolf color. It's only going to get worse. But again, we're not doing any. We're not going into the recesses of anything. We are just aiming for the edges because we are going to be coming back in and applying a super thinned down, maybe even 2 super thin down coats, or 3, who knows, of Black Templar. I actually do have a proper texture dry brush thing, but I don't know where it is. So a palette, a post-it pad is absolutely fine. That's the same thing. So this is Plasma Guy. So this is the guy that has lots of little white blobs around him. And as I said, I am not going to bother going in and chasing them up because we're going to hit this. And all those little white bits that are currently missed are technically all dark spots. It's all recesses that haven't been touched. So I'm going to go back in a bit. They will get filled in. Okay. I like these ones that are hugging their guns. There's less places to have to dry brush. Oh crap, see, now that was way too much. I'll be paying for that bit later, I guarantee it. Right, so that's better. So when we come back in with the rust grey, I'll be only attempting to catch the very upper areas. To be honest, since I'm not doing an army for this, this is one single kill team, I probably will go to the excesses of actually painting in quite a lot of edge highlights manually. I didn't for my actual Deathwatch army originally. I kept it to a minimum because I really could not be asked. It was too much. Because this is 11 guys, I think I can be asked to do that. I think sometimes when you're painting things, you have to just know where, like, have a limit of good enough. I know technically no model is ever finished because you can always do more. Used to be a mantra when we were kids, like when our friends used to look at models, we'd always be like, oh yeah, this is it. It's not finished. Even though we had no intention of actually doing anything more to it. It's just the point of always saying, it's not finished. I've got models in the cupboard that are definitely finished, but I could still go, it's not finished. Because there are new things I will learn, or you could always spend a few more hours doing something on a model. Just think how long Golden Demon painters take to paint models. Okay, so what will happen is once I've got to the rust no, the Fenrisian Grey stage. Once that's done, I'm going to go back in and get the glaze and start doing the thingies. Now I've mixed up a new pot. So I've had a pot of very thinned down Black Templar on the go for a couple of years now. And I think I've been thinning it more and more just to top it up. So today I topped it up with a bit more Black Templar. It's still, it used to be a 50-50 mix. Don't think it's a 50-50 mix anymore. But we'll see. I mean, it's thinner than Black Templar, so that'd be fine. But its original consistency was a 50-50 mix. So now I've just realised I haven't eaten anything. So what I'm going to do is just close down all these messages. I'm just going to drink some liquid lunch real quickly. Oh, there we go. I've just drank an entire bottle of Huel in probably 30 seconds. I'm sure that won't come to bite me in the ass later. No idea what I was saying. Something about thinned down Black Templar bottles or something. But yeah, it's quite funny actually seeing these when they've started, when the Black Templars dried, like how many white dots are there. And especially when you were like, when I was painting it, 100% covered these things. But obviously not. So obviously my camera's picking these up a lot better now because they're not bright white. But it is picking up those incredibly bright white dots that have been missed. See? Weird. Strange. Makes no sense. Especially, I mean, I slapped it all over this guy. Again, doesn't matter. It's fine. All we're doing is bluing up this armor. So I'd be very tempted now to only do this rust grey coat, then let it dry, then do another rust grey coat, and then do the Fenrisian grey coat. This is my temptation right now. It's probably, oh god, that's really bad. That's too much. This is way too wet. It's probably a really bad idea, but like in my head, I'm like, that could be pretty good. So I might do it. You know, I might. So I am gonna hit this guy's skin, this head with this, mainly because he's gonna be, I think, a salamander. I like the idea of the Thunderhammer guy being a salamander. So he needs to be like literally black. So I think I'm going to hit him with the same highlights as the armor to begin with. And then we'll have a mess around with him later. Okay, so I don't think I can be asked to do what I was just stupidly about to do. So I'm going to go with the Fenrisian Grey. Oh my god, my Fenrisian Grey is absolutely minging. What's gone on there? That somehow opened up. Thankfully I have a vortex shaker, so let's give that a Damn, good shaky second. That is not a nice colour. Oh, that's better. Right, there we go. Right, I think we're going to go down this route still. Let's not be mad. Let's not go mental. We really do want to remove a lot of this though. So don't have to do this on everything. Everything doesn't need. Not everything is armor. Not everything is black armor. So just what we can see. Freaked out then because there was someone at my window, but it's someone hiding from the rain. Well, he was just staring in here like a weirdo. Right, so but even though I'm going to have to still put in a shitload of work, this essentially is supposed to save me time. I think. If it doesn't save me time, then whatever. As long as I get a semi-decent black armor out of it, I don't care. I like painting stages that are brainless? Yeah, that's a word, isn't it? Brainless. Yeah, I think so. I don't have to really think or get too close or pay attention to what I'm doing. Batch painting 10 dudes, not so bad. I could have done these as individuals really, but I would like the armor to all be almost exactly the same colours. There's always a chance that I'll do something different on one of them, or I'll paint 4 exactly the same, change one thing on the next one, and then that will go across onto all the others, and then next thing you know, half a squad painted one way, half a squad painted the other. And I've 100% done that in the past, so I have models in the cabinet that prove that. And I hate them. So just trying to catch these upper areas. Now what will happen is I will go obviously back through, like I've said multiple times, thinned down glazy wash type thing of Black Templar over the top. And then we'll come back in with this paint again and we'll do the same. Ooh, actually we've got some Pterodon turquoise that we can be applying as well now I think about it. Ooh, that's good. Might do that. It sounds like a terrible idea, but I really want to do it. I'll really put that blue in. So maybe we go with another coat of Black Templar. Then put some Pterodon turquoise over, real thin. We'll thin that down like shit tons. Thin that down. Get that like blue bluey tone in there. So I'm definitely going to do the Black Templar, thin down Black Templar next because I need to tone all this bluey grey down. I was hoping that would be. Yeah, let's do it that way. There we go. Okay. Okay, last guy, and then let's hit them with fins down, Black Templar. No idea what's going on with this guy's head. Not sure if I like it or not. I may end up ripping a head off with one of these. Pretty sure that shield's supposed to be silver. Okay, so this guy's like the worst one out of all of them, paint-wise as well. Dry brushing done. So, or for the second is, I'm going to quickly give this a scrub out. Scrub that one down there. Okay, okay. So that is a whole bunch of random shit's done to them. I've got a flat edge brush I have, okay. So let's get this big finned out Black Templar pot out here. And let's see what this does. I need someone who's got decent, there we go, yeah, you've got someone there. So can be doing what we did before, but this time it's finned down. And you do just want to pull it down like we normally would. So, tiny bit more careful than I was being before, because there shouldn't really be any pooling for this. There shouldn't be any coffee staining either, because we're obviously not going over light colour anymore. We're going over itself really, just with the highlights, the dry brushes on. And this is finned. It used to be 50-50. It was more than 50-50 with lamine medium being the higher concentration, but I don't know what it is nowadays. But it is certainly a lot thinner than normal Black Templar. So this is that point where I get to go, yay, all the little white bits are gone. Now I don't know what colour that shoulder pad's going to be, and that one's obviously silver, so I don't need to worry about that anymore. Backpacks, I can't remember what bits are going to be silver on here, so these I am going to cover the entire backpack. Now, I could technically have been using Nuln Oil instead of this, but I don't trust, like I'll use the Nuln Oil later if I need to, but I wouldn't use it for this. I did prime them, and I primed them in the worst colour that you could possibly ever want to prime a black model mini. Sorry, I'm concentrating, so I find it difficult to speak. I primed them Gracier. And then couldn't actually remember why I'd primed them Gracier. And now I remember why, because I'm using Black Templar contrast paints and dry brushes to bring them up to a blue-black. So Oh, I kind of wish I'd done the. I wish I'd done the Pterodon turquoise coat first. Yes, I thought, I love making my life difficult. If you'd ever watched any of my other stuff, I've been doing white world eaters as well. So, white and gold. Painting the gold trim over the white was definitely fun. Okay, so I do wish that I'd gone with the Pterodon turquoise coat before I'd gone down this route. And I also think that this Black Templar mix that I've got is possibly a bit Black Templar-y, too Black Templar-y. Yes, that's definitely a turn. That's fine. We can deal. It's. Perhaps I'm going to stick it over this shoulder pad just because I want to see how that comes out when that dries. That was a nice lighter shoulder pad. So, right, what's the time now? So it's almost 4 o'clock. So we started building these at 10 o'clock this morning. So that's the entire kill team built, as well as one extra, because we kit bashed an extra gunner. And I'd love to say it made a decent start on the armour, but I have a feeling that's going to have a lot more to do here. I feel like I've missed a step from what I'd normally have done here. That's the problem with not painting Death Watch or Black Templars or Voltan for quite some time, is that I've forgotten what my normal steps are for painting blue-black armour. What's more annoying is I've probably got a video somewhere that I could have probably watched. But never mind. Okay. Now it shouldn't bother me that this axe head has white little bits showing, because it's got to be painted a different colour, but it was bugging me, so I'm going to quickly hit it. We'll see what these look like when they're dry again. Worst case scenario, we're going back in and dry brushing up again with Russ and Fenrisium, but we'll not be doing it with the Thunderhawk this time. The other problem we've got here is that I'm painting a lot of stuff black that isn't actually going to be black, so it makes a big difference in how things look. If I was to go in and paint all the soft seals on the legs and stuff, they're going to be grey. So they will still look black, but they will be a different colour. They'll be a very dark grey. Obviously all the levers need to be done, all the silvers need to be done, and then each different colour for the shoulder pads. And I have to decide on the shoulder pads yet, because I've decided to not use any moulded shoulder pads, only because it's really cool that they had some like ones that we've not had for a long time. There's like, I think there's like a Mind Tools or Brazen Bull or something, and then there's a whole bunch in there. Size the Emperor, like individuals, but I'm just going to keep them. They'll go in my bits box. My main problem with them being molded is I don't like painting molded shoulder pads. I actually prefer transfers. The only guys here that have got molded shoulder pads are the Raptors, and the only reason that the Phobos armor, and the only reason they've got them is because I was just like, this is a massive novelty. Having tiny molded Phobos insignia shoulder pads is awesome. Oh, and the Gravis ones, they've got theirs as well, but the standard Marines don't. Okay. It's very strange doing this, especially through Restream and stuff like that, because I can see the screen. So when obviously I've got a screen on, shows me the video, but it shows me the actual video as it is if I was to watch it now, and obviously there's a delay. So every time I go to grab some more paint on the video, it's not happening at the same time as I'm doing it, and it's weirding me out. Apologies if that made no sense at all. So I'm painting and I'm burbling, so I'm just talking crap basically while I'm painting. Right. We've lost a lot of the bluiness that I wanted, which is why I think we're going to go in with that Thunderhawk. Not Thunderhawk. I've already forgotten what it's called. Pterodon Turquoise, that's what I'm going to go in with. Very, very finned. That might get put on... Oh shit, when am I going to put that on? We'll wait until these have dried. We'll have a look and see what the colour looks like. Ooh, just been offered takeaway. I would like takeaway. But I'm painting, I can't reply. If only one of my children was watching this stream, that would be really helpful, and I could tell them that yes, I want takeaway. Six armors down. Let me just tell my wife that I would like whatever food they're ordering. Okay. Just quickly tell her that. Right. Okay. I'm very aware that... Oh no, I still got 2 hours. I thought I had like an hour left. For fuck's sake. What is this madness? Okay, it looks like I'm going for 2 hours more. means I've been streaming all day. Thankfully, I have chopped it up a little bit because I did have to go off for a tiny bit so I could go and find the kitbash Gravis bits and stuff. But it's very rare for me to spend an entire Saturday live streaming. Very rare. Normally an incredibly busy day. Okay, so you're all done there, mister. God, man, it's really, really thick. Super thick coat on top of him. I'm not sure I like that. May have to deal with that in a bit. So this should be super thin. Might just be because it's so wet that it doesn't look it. I think from what I can see on the others, it is drying out a lot, so could be good. So what I'm going to do is get through these and then selectively I feel like the Pterodon turquoise is the last thing I ever used to do. It's really bugging me that I can't remember. I saw someone who had a video that was very similar to what I used to do. It was like, it might have even been Darcy, to be honest, when she did her Voltan. She may have used Pterodon turquoise at one point as well. Okay, so looking at that backpack and seeing the big black blob of drying paint, it does make me kind of want to quickly just flick over these and get rid of any really big blobs. It just takes so much longer to dry else. I don't know, should be okay. That was done a while back though, now he's still wet on top. We'll hair dry him, it's fine. Anyway. Oh my god, my back. So, what are we on? We're on an hour and a half of what? Of painting this armor. So not the worst. Not the worst amount of time to get black armor essentially. I don't know. I'd love to say 50% done. I don't know. Also almost mini choked then. If you missed. That's alright. See any white bits? Okay. Oh, here's Mr. Kitbash. I'm proud of this one. I have to try and remember how long it actually has taken me. I guess I've technically all good for today because I've got all of the streams saved, so I can work it out. Or just work it on the basis that I started at 10 AM this morning. And see how far I get. Okay. Right, one more. Just to get it back down. And then I think we're going to go with the Femrisian Grey, just Femrisian Grey. I don't think we're going to bother with the Rust Grey. We'll go straight to a Femrisian Grey dry brush. Try to be as light as possible. Okay. Righty, so that's another coat of Black Templar applied to that armor. What I'm going to do is, shit, I'm literally a missed chunk there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, okay, what I'm going to do is sort out that. I'm going to do it, so I'm going to drop off because we're on an hour and a half. I'm going to drop off. I'm going to get the hairdryer out. And I'm going to blast them all. Blast them all with a hairdryer. So I don't really want to do that while I'm on live on stream. So I'll be back in a bit.